Good afternoon, citizens of the Republic of Korea. Do you know that the numerous people are suffering from brain hacking, mind control, electromagnetic torture, and stalking? Are you familiar with the MK Ultra project? This was a secret mind control experiment program conducted by the CIA during the early Cold War period. It began in 1953 and was halted after 1973, but it has since sparked controversies over human rights violation and ethical breaches both within the United States and internationally. The project was initiated as a response to concern over brainwashing techniques allegedly possessed by the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea at the time. Its purpose was to develop methods for controlling or manipulating human behavior and sought to enhance psychological warfare and intelligence gathering capability. This involved research into mind control, torture, brainwashing, and interrogation techniques. The experiment involved the use of powerful hallucinogens such as LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, drug administration, and electrical shocks. As a result, numerous secret experiments were conducted without the consent of the subject, causing irreversible physical and mental harm to some. In 1975, during Ford administration, the Church Committee formed by the U.S. Congress officially exposed the existence of MK Ultra for the first time. Later, on October 3, 1995, then President Bill Clinton issued an apology regarding past human rights violation related to MK Ultra, stating, when the government does something that is wrong, we have to admit it. That is the only way to build for the future. What was done should never happen again. This technology has since passed down and continuously developed major core technology related to mind manipulation and cognitive and behavior control. Since 2020s, many countries have actively discussed neural rights, which are privacy rights protecting brain information. What I've just mentioned may sound like a conspiracy theories, but in fact, due to advances in neuroscience, AI, electronics engineering, and military technology, these are actively researched or partially implemented in near cases. Based on this, I will explain the current status, research, and development in 4 key areas. The first, brain memory hacking. This technology reads, deletes, modify, or insert memories stored in brain, primarily related to hippocampal activity. Since 2014, a research team at MIT has successfully manipulated the memory of mice. The US DARPA developed a device to restore damaged memories of soldiers, which is currently in use and under research. Second, mind reading. By analyzing the brain's electronical activity in near time, it is possible to interpret unspoken thought, images, intention, and more. In 2023, a research team at the University of Texas reconstructed images and sentences into text by analyzing fMRI data with AI. It is also possible to detect a person's intention, emotion state, and focus level in real time through brain waves and research. Third, mind control, controlling thoughts and behavior. This refers to technically inducing or manipulating human emotion, judgment, decisions, and action. It is one of the most ethically and politically sensitive field. Using techniques like TDCS or TMS, weak electronic current can be applied to specific brain regions to regulate impulse control, reduce anxiety, and alter decisions. This allows modulation of moral judgment and aggression control. First, delivering images and sounds to the brain. It is possible to directly stimulate the brain from external devices to induce perception similar to video or audio. Initially, the microwave auditory effect, also known as the Faraday effect, involves irradiating high-power microwave onto a person's head, enabling them to perceive sounds inside the ear without external speakers. And there is cortical vision prosthesis, a device that stimulates the visual cortex electronically. Using artificial vision devices, electronical signals are sent to the brain to allow image recognition. Additionally, with VR and neurofeedback, sensory feedback combined with brain waves analysis in VR environment, enable the injection of intended images or emotions. Now, I will explain the current reality of these technologies and their future development direction. The truly frightening combination is AI, neuroscience, and wireless communication. AI has advanced to the level of interpreting or predicting what a person thinks by learning brain waves patterns, visualized fMRI data, and language signals. It has reached the stage where it can predict behavior based on a person's implanted thought patterns. Recently, research has announced technology that detect a person's heart rate, breathing, location, and behavior changes using Wi-Fi, and MIT's YVI technology has succeeded in sensing human movement through word. This raises the question, can the brain be hacked via Wi-Fi? Currently, officially, customized stimulation through Wi-Fi and smart device network hacking for psychological manipulation is already realized, and full realization is technically quite feasible in the near future. Next is a nanomind, magnetogenetic interface for neurodynamics, developed by Korean researchers from IBS and Yonsei University. This technology, which is non-invasive and wireless, it is the world's first successful example of mind control, attracting global attention. To summarize, the core technology, nanomagnetic particles with nanoscale magnetism are genetically inserted into specific neuron, and when a rotating magnetic field is applied externally, the nanoparticle rotate and selectively stimulate the targeted neurons. Experimental results include inducing maternal instinct behavior in mother deficient female mice to care for pups, enabling 100% increase or 50% decrease in appetite, and successfully increasing social appellative behavior. This is supported by Professor Choi So-hyun's 2024 paper in Nature Nanotechnology titled Magnetogenetics for Cell Type Specific Targeting and Modulation of Brain Circuits. By combining this technology, the process would involve injecting or administrating nanoparticle to people using nano-mind technology, hacking brains via Wi-Fi, that is using AI, neuroscience, wireless communication technology, reading thoughts, implanting thoughts, controlling behavior via brain-computer interface, visual inputting, outputting voice and visual information, monitoring past memories, inducing physical pain and illness, and controlling all 5 senses. In the near future, all companies, workers, all citizens, all borders, and indeed all people worldwide could be subjected to such control via Wi-Fi. If dictators, authoritarian groups, or exploitative corporations acquire these technologies and have financial resources and organization, it became possible. Evidence is seen in myself and many others who have become illegal test subjects, so-called Maruta, suffering brain hacking, mind control, electromagnetic torture, stalking, and other abuses. Victim groups and online communities exist, but they are often infiltrated by perpetrators aiming to disrupt these groups. Perpetrators can be found everywhere. I myself am enduring brain hacking, mind control, and electromagnetic torture experiments at work, at home, even from apartment neighbors living above and below me. Soon, you too could become victims, and perpetrators will soon also become victims. Now, everyone must realize this. While visible election fraud is pushed through rigorously, invisible enslavement of all workers, citizens, is a piece of cake. In communist countries, once this technology is advanced, enslaving the entire population will be very easy. If someone like Hitler emerged anywhere in the world acquiring this technology along with AI, Wi-Fi, and supercomputer, it will not be impossible to enslave not only their own citizens, but people worldwide. Let me imagine, from the perspective of a malicious corporation or authoritarian ruler, how they would virtually plan the enslavement of workers and citizens. This way, we can be prepared in advance. First, for an exploitative large corporation, they would contact intelligence agency and collaborate to obtain this technology. Next, they would secretly mix nanoparticle or nanorobots into food served at the company cafeteria and have workers regularly consume them without their knowledge. Then the workplace to synchronize individual via Wi-Fi and nano-robot. Then, brain-computer interface on computer, they would monitor thoughts, hack memories, control thought and behavior, and in worst case, induce diseases. Initially, they enslave executive and those in key position. Then target militant labor union, followed by the problematic employees, and finally the entire workforce. With just a snap of finger like this, the malicious employer can enslave and control all workers. That would eliminate all labor management permanently. Anyone who speak out or register would be isolated and subjected to electromagnetic torture, disease induction, or mind control to prevent rebellion. In the case of a nation dictator or authoritarian political party, they could apply this to the entire population. They would collude with food companies to insert nano-robots into processed food, or cooperate with vaccine companies to include nano-robots in vaccines. These substances wouldn't be detectable in standard blood tests. They would then partner with telecommunication companies to synchronize the entire population via Wi-Fi, and later through smartphone as well. By connecting all of these to a supercomputer and BCI, they could control the entire nation. During election, they could force people to vote for a particular individual or party, securing permanent rule. This would effectively eliminate the possibility of mass public protest. Think carefully. Why do you think this technology is being developed and tested on so many illegal human guinea pigs? Before it's too late, we must expose everything and enact laws to regulate and control this entire field of technology. If we hesitate even for a moment, everyone will become slaves to those inflicting this suffering. Your children will also be subjected to the same fate. If you are laughing now, finding this entertaining, now know that this is no time to be amused. There is not much time left. As AI technology advances, the time we have left decreases proportionally. Most of the remaining technologies are already complete. The proof is people like me. Illegal test subject. I currently worked at business planning department in HD Hyundai Heavy Industries in Ulsan. In 2018, the company ordered me to be dispatched to Shanghai, China for 6 months. However, I had to return just after 3.5 months due to being subjected to electromagnetic torture. About 2 months into my stay in Shanghai, I began to experience the electromagnetic torture from someone living in the hotel room above mine. I endured the pain as long as I could and returned after 3.5 months. The company spread the humor that I had returned due to homesickness. Even now, after returning from Shanghai, I am still being subjected to electromagnetic torture by a man named So who lived in the apartment of mine. The same kind of attack I have suffered in Shanghai in 2018. Now let me talk about the main type of harm that many victims, not just myself, are experiencing. The first is surveillance. Since returning from Shanghai in 2018 until now, at work, my teams have monitored me. For example, if I am thinking, should I take the train or drive to Gwanju tomorrow, someone nearby will say out loud, traffic will be bad to Gwanju tomorrow, either while talking to themselves or on a phone call. When I get up to go to the restroom, people stationed along the hallway, as if they knew in advance, rotate in and confront me with specific behavior or words. And they have been indirectly talking to each other as if they wanted me to hear. Talking, taking turns all day long, making all kinds of threats. They say things so unspeakable that only heinous criminal would utter them. It feels like I am under total siege. They try to interfere with and control everything I do. The second is visual surveillance. Even when I'm at work, at home, or outside, in area with no one around, people somehow know what I saw. They either mention it next day or call me in real time and speak as if they are watching my surroundings. This is visual data hacking. The third is source manipulation. This includes psychological manipulation, subconscious manipulation, and emotion, feeling manipulation. When thought manipulation occurs, it resonates and synchronizes with the brain, causing headache. When brain memory is hacked, I feel lethargic and sleepy. Most morning, when I arrive at the office and sit at my desk, I feel foggy-headed for around 30 minutes. Sometimes, when I turn around unconsciously, like this, I see signs or posters with words related to my thoughts or concerns. At work, it often happens that I suddenly and unconsciously start saying things in my mind about topics or interest to others. The first is behavior control. While I'm traveling from Ulsan to Changwon on business trip, I was manipulated to turn the steering wheel, which caused the tire to blow on the highway divider. I have even been controlled while sleeping when I cursed the perpetrator silently. I was made to slap myself in my head with my stretched head like this. The fifth is hallucinations, visual, auditory, and olfactory. One night I saw a geometric hallucination, a square white shape. I have also heard voices as if someone had a specific purpose, criticizing or limiting me. Physical torture has continued since 2018, both from So who lives upstairs and others around the apartment. And at my workplace, I have suffered persistent headache and chest pain. At times, he has shot high energy waves at my skin, causing frequent damage. I have even been hit in my eye while sleeping, waking up in severe pain. Men are also tortured through prolonged post-erections. I have also heard that female victims suffer sexual electromagnetic torture. During the same period that I was subjected to brain hacking, mind control, my computer and mobile phone were hacked every single day, both at work, at home. Stalkers follow me relentlessly, harassing me without pause. While working on Excel document at work, I would see the cursor move on its own, letters and numbers change, and important file disappear. And my apartment and car have often been broken into. Despite filing multiple reports and complaints with the police, nothing was done. I often lamented that I could not live under protection of the law sometimes. People like me are called TIs, in international terms, targeted individual. There is Neighbor Cafe online community for victims like me that has 4,597 members. And there are several other more similar communities. Since 2018, I have submitted dozens of complaints and reports to every relevant institution in South Korea about these crimes. However, not a single investigation or face-to-face inquiry has been conducted. Why? Because there were no relevant law in this country. In the U.S., Congressman Dennis Kucinich from Richmond proposed the Space Preservation Act in 2001, which prohibits these types of technologies. In Russia, on July 26, 2001, Federal Law number 103 was really enacted, banning the use of non-lethal weapons that cause psychological or physical harm, including electromagnetic waves, infrared, ultrasound, and infrasound. I will now show you photos and other materials related to the matters I mentioned earlier. These photos showed infant and young girls subject of NK Ultra project. Below this is the newspaper article about the MK Ultra project that was carried out by the CIA. And this photo is of a female victim whose face and entire body suffered skin burn caused by electromagnetic torture weapon. In addition, this illustration is an example diagram of an electromagnetic weapon. And this is a photo. The victims, including me, we have protested in Gwanju Gwanju Square in front of the General Yi Sun-shin statue. These photos are broadcast around the world in both Eastern and Western countries against the use of electromagnetic weapons. Here is Japan, and all over the world like this, and here is even a protest taking place in front of the UN building. Furthermore, this is text of the U.S. Space Preservation Act of 2001, which proposed a ban on use of electromagnetic weapons and mind control weapons and weather modification weapons. This is also Russian law enacted in 2001, which prohibits the use of non-lethal weapons that neglectfully affect the human mind and body, including electromagnetic, ultrasonic, and infrasound weapons, as well as devices and means that influence the human nervous system and psychological state. They are subjected to criminal and administrative penalty if used illegally. And this is a record of tens of complaints and petitions I have filed with the National Human Rights Commissions, the Prosecutor's Office, and Ministers of Justice, the police, the National Grievance Center, and other authorities. So, now you should be able to see clearly that the existence of brain hacking and mind control and electromagnetic torture technology is undeniable. Now, it should be clear to you that technologies like brain hacking, mind control, and electronic torture do exist. I do not know exactly how many people or what percentage of the population worldwide or even within my company are being subjected to brain hacking, mind control, electromagnetic torture, and stalking. However, a tremendous number of people are suffering from these kinds of harm. Do you know why God allowed both good and evil to coexist in this world? Because He granted us the greatest gift, free will, so we could choose between the two. But these forces of evil are trying to steal our free will and place it under their feet. Will you just sit back and watch until you too become a slave? Let us join hands. Let us join them and rise together. We must raise up a world that is falling into ruin by raising public awareness and making it a topic of a public discussion. We can establish the law to control electromagnetic weapons, similar to how to use the firearms by soldiers or police is required, which would help prevent those. Recognizing the problem is the first step to solve this critical crisis. Together, we can start together, we can stop this. Let's hold hands and go forward. Move forward. Thank you for your attention.